Former world number 2 and winner of the 2022 Open Championship, Cameron Smith, was one of the highest-ranked golfers to make the switch to the Rebel League. The 5-time PGA Tour winner revealed that he had a conversation with Rory McIlroy about the PGA LIV ROW. The world number 1 obviously wanted him to stay, but it seems Smith had his mind made up. But what exactly did McIlroy tell Smith that wasn't enough to change his mind? And what was his reaction after Cameron jumped ship? Does Smith regret joining the Rebel League? Well, stick around to find out. Smith remains one of the rising stars on the 2022 PGA Tour. This year alone, he won 3 tournaments in total. So when he officially switched allegiances to LIV Golf, it affected the PGA Tour standings. It's safe to say he's Greg Norman's breakaway league's most crucial signing after Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson. Imagine entering the circuit as the reigning champion of 2 of the year's top 5 stroke play events, the Open and the Players. You're bound to enjoy the support of LIV Golf and its sympathizers while facing severe criticism from PGA Tour players and the golf community. Not only was he criticized, but Smith was also indefinitely suspended by Jay Monahan, the PGA Tour commissioner, a move the 29-year-old dismissed, stating he hasn't resigned from the tour. Rory puts a shocking call across to Smith. Cameron, the world number 3, who picked up his first major triumph in July at the Open, caused a stir in the golf world by becoming the first top 10 golfer to join LIV just weeks later. Cameron started the final day of the Open at St. Andrews 4 shots behind Rory McIlroy and Viktor Hovland of Norway, only to play an amazing back 9 and clinch the victory. After the game, Smith was asked by a reporter if he had concluded plans to join LIV Golf. Smith was obviously surprised because he had just recorded a major win, but the press was more interested in his next move. Well, it was only understandable because the person in question is one of golf's greatest. I just won the British Open, and you'd think that's what you should be asking about. That's pretty not that good. Before his victory at St. Andrews, Smith revealed that he had been in contact with the Saudi-backed tour for a couple of months. He reached out to the PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan and talked with some of his colleagues, including Rory McIlroy, about his decision. However, Smith's mind must have been made up because, irrespective of what he discussed with Rory, he still made a move. So why did Rory McIlroy call Smith, and what did they discuss? 2 days after the 150th Open Championship, Rory reached out to Cameron with the intention of congratulating him on winning the Claret Jug. Rory also wanted to ensure he knew all the facts before making a final decision to switch to LIV Golf. After LIV's most prominent critic, Rory McIlroy had congratulated the Open champion. He went over why he felt Cameron should stay put on the PGA Tour. "I have the utmost respect for Rory, and I really like what he says on the course." Smith spoke to the Sydney Morning Herald. "Congratulations," he said. "Although there were a couple little jabs in there, he was pleased with the way I performed. After that, we talked about LIV and the PGA Tour. He wanted me to be aware of many things before I made my choice. I wouldn't say he persuaded me to stay, but it was obvious he still wanted me around." But as Cameron earlier revealed, he had already been in talks with the breakaway league long before McIlroy reached out to him. So if Rory did want him to remain in the PGA, it would have taken more than just a phone call. But from all indications, the world number 1 played more of an advisory role and wasn't keen on convincing him to remain on the PGA Tour. "I don't care if golfers quit the PGA." In a statement to the media, Rory revealed he'd spoken to Cameron about his purported move in an attempt to retain his skill and technique on the PGA Tour. He said the phone call wasn't a plea, but was more of a factual presentation. "I had a conversation with Cameron 2 days after the Open," said McIlroy. "Firstly, I wanted to congratulate him for a well-played game. Guys who are thinking one way or another, I honestly don't care if they leave or not. It won't make a difference to me. However, I would appreciate it if people made educated decisions and basically knew what's coming down the pipeline. You could be leaving this behind. I just don't want individuals making decisions to hear information from one side without hearing from another. So that's been my basic focus for all this while." He continued, "I've always said that guys can do anything they choose to. They can choose what's best for themselves and their families. But what I want is for guys to make their choices based on all of the facts. Most times, I don't think players make decisions with all the information in front of them." Despite these facts, Smith disregarded McIlroy's advice and accepted a 6-figure contract with LIV Golf. With that said, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more exciting golf content. Cam faults PGA Tour. Prior to joining LIV Golf, speculation surrounding Smith's future on the PGA Tour became more pronounced during the final men's major of the year. Apparently, He had refused to deny rumors linking him to the Rebel League in his winner's press conference, and with reports ahead of the FedEx Cup playoffs stating that he had sealed plans to switch. It was somewhat obvious that he was on his way out of the tour. In an interview with Golf Digest, the Australian pro golfer admitted that joining LIV Golf was purely a business decision, as money was a significant factor. That's not all. He also said he needed more time for his family. Money was a factor in making that decision, and I won't deny that, Cameron said. I just couldn't ignore the offer. It was a business decision. The major reason for my joining is the league's appealing schedule. I'll finally be able to spend quality time at home in Australia, which is something I haven't been able to do. Honestly, getting that part of my life back was really appealing. Apparently, the money wasn't the only reason for his decision, as he expressed his admiration for the LIV team format. Smith said he had previously missed weddings and rugby league games back at home due to his previous tight schedule. Now, he had the chance to switch to a more flexible tournament. You'd only expect him to take it, right? And just when you thought Smith was done talking, he revealed something very shocking about his former tour schedule. While criticizing the PGA Tour schedule, Smith said it was brutal, and the players never enjoy the tour setup. Cameron was said to have left Australia for the United States in order to stay relevant on the PGA Tour. According to Cam, golfers can effectively compete if they choose to stay outside the United States. To keep your PGA card and be competitive in the FedEx Cup, you have to be over here, and honestly, it is brutal, Cam said, resulting from the personal time he gets at the end of every season. Cam takes advantage of it to work on his golf swing. He did manage for some time, but when he had had enough, he just had to call it quits. From his statement, Smith obviously feels more comfortable at LIV Golf because, according to him, he'd be occupied for a few months, and after that, he'd be able to focus on himself and his family with enough personal time for practice. Will Smith regret his action? Australia's British Open champion claimed his first LIV Golf victory in his second start on the Saudi Arabia-backed circuit with a 3-shot triumph over Peter Ulian and Dustin Johnson outside of Chicago. Cameron, one of 12 major champions in the 48-player field, shot a 369 in the final round of the 54-hole event on Sunday to reach 13 under par and secure the $4 million first prize. I had to prove to myself and some other people that I am still a fantastic player. I'm still out here to win golf tournaments, and I'm proud of how I performed, said Smith. Smith's first victory was achieved in only his second start. And not only did he put up a sterling performance, but he also went home with a whopping $4 million. With a win at Rich Harvest Farms in September and a $2 million slice for his team, Punch Golf Club coming second in the final stage, Cam is likely very happy with his earnings so far, considering he joined partway through. Smith is said to have earned almost $30 million on the PGA Tour, and in just a few weeks after joining the LIV, he's been racking up some mind-blowing cash. Recall that he signed a $100 million deal with the Rebel League, so in the expiration of his contract, he's expected to have amassed a lot on LIV Tour, in contrast to his PGA Tour earnings. So you tell us, does Smith seem like he regrets joining LIV Golf? And now that he's in the Saudi-backed series, can he maintain his high momentum? For more intriguing golf content, click this video showing on your screen right now.